Start your engines, people. It's time for some more Road Gang radio. 30 minutes left with Lindsay, Lawler, and Jimmy Mack.
I'm just going to say something about Madison really quickly here. This is our first remote, and Madison has just gotten started with us. Imagine that. And look, Dre, no one begrudges Phone Master Dre a vacation that he has not had for the better part of 3 years. He's had days off. Every now and again when I was able to.
He hasn't had a week off.
But he has never had a week off. And for her to actually be doing what she's doing today is really extraordinary. So Lindsay, myself, and Tara over here at TXTA over here in Austin, Texas, cannot thank her enough. I got to tell you, there are a lot of people who the wheels would have come off.
And can I say, Madison, do you mind a ballpark of, I'm not going to ask how old you are, but you're in your 20s, right?
Oh, yeah, I don't mind. I'm 24.
Okay, 24. I bring that up because we've been talking a lot, as you've heard, and Bryon Wiebold is joining us, and he'll know how to dive into this, of course. Bryon Wiebold of Tenstreet. Good morning, friend.
Hello.
Always glad to have you.
Good to be here.
The idea of, we've talked a lot about training the next generation to come in for whatever it is, whatever industry you do. It's easy. I'm in that place where I'm old enough now that I can be annoyed by young people, but in a good way, annoyed because they know more than me.
I like
them
them
so
more.
Much,
I like them more and more every
They
year.
know so much more than me. And so for Madison to step in, she's in the studio alone back in New Orleans, all by herself, first time ever doing this, and she is bobbing and weaving and rolling with the punches. Like nothing phases her because she doesn't know enough about what we already do, but she knows so much about what she does that she's killing it.
She's got her feet up on the counter, eating some chips, scrolling on the phone while she's doing all this.
Literally,
that's how they
killing
do
it.
Man.
Well, and the crazy thing is, too, my friend, is that that whole studio is designed to stop what was happening. We were getting further and further away, further and further apart. Lindsay was at the studio last week.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was there. Dre was there, Madison was there, Dave was there, Lindsay was there. Yeah. Tara was even in the house, and that is such a different animal. And one of the reasons why I moved us to New Orleans was it meant that Dave, Andre, Madison, myself could all be there. And I'm telling you, watching Dave lose 10 years in age, get younger, because it's like all these people are here and things are fast and furious. It's a lot of fun.
Can I just say something here before we
Please.
I think we've already started going, but I'm so proud of you guys. I'm so happy for you guys, especially Dave. No transition's ever easy, but I know that you're feeling a lot of industry support.
A lot.
And it's a good thing, right? You've probably gotten your breath now. I mean, there's always a question when you do stuff like that. Transition, change.
Well, and thanks for saying the support. And here's what's funny. Jim and I have talked about this. However the support's coming, there's those people, as you know, who will support from the get-go. Like, we're with you no matter what.
Yeah.
Then there's the people that are like, they're watching kind of quietly, and they hop on when they see, oh, it's happening. Okay, now I'm in. And that's fine, too.
Yeah.
Totally fine. And then there's that like, I'm not going to support, and then they see they're crap. Now it's too late. I can't support. And that's fine, too.
I sell to the trucking industry, right? So
right.
There's always innovators, early adopters. There's those going to watch and see, okay, maybe we'll come on board. And then there are those that are just going to keep doing paper applications. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. And let me tell you, the thing that had me most hopeful in the beginning, because I said this on a LinkedIn post, I've said this on a couple of posts, I am going to take no credit whatsoever for the amazing young folks who have kind of done this. I mean, 6 weeks they get the notice. We managed to maintain brand discipline on the previous platform.
Awesome.
We don't get to live broadcast for a week, but we actually are on the air the day after we're off, meaning we are good to go, which means we're playing replays of the Dave Nemo show and everything else, and then a week later we're on the air. That didn't happen because of me or anything I did. And I've just been in awe of these young folks that we've been talking about all morning, really kind of figuring stuff out and making all of this happen for us. The way I knew we had a fighting chance was the number of the influencers with 500,000 followers, some of these, kids with like 25,000 people on TikTok. They immediately bought in. Perfect. And I went, we may have something going on here, because these kids are like, no, you're making a really good decision.
It's a different world, isn't it?
It is.
And it's amazing to me. It's astounding to me. And I thank God I'm an avid learner, because I learned so much.
You couldn't work for the company you work for and not be one. I mean, it would be impossible, because you guys are consistently trying to figure out, okay, what's next? How do we capture people's attentions? How do we keep platforming new people on? How do we keep the accessibility going? How do we reach more people to get them downloading? That's if you don't. I mean, if you guys were on paper. You'd be on paper in some file folder someplace, not being talked about.
Right,
I mean, that's kind of the deal.
Yeah.
You're a Texan. You made the trip. How long does it take you to get down here?
Well, depending on traffic, we caught it pretty good yesterday coming out of Dallas-Fort Worth, so about 4 hours.
There's your rule, Lindsay.
There's my rule.
5
Then
hours.
it's close.
So 5 hours or less, people are willing to make that trip.
Yep.
Well, and everything in Texas is bigger, even the travel time. We ran into you yesterday while we were having lunch. Got to see your lovely wife. Happy 29th anniversary, by the way.
Thank you. I renegotiated my contract, so I'm good for another year. There's some terms put in there that I had to agree with.
Quick pivot. We'll come back to quick pivot. The renegotiate the contract as it pertains to marriage.
Yeah.
I have a girlfriend who told me that a long time ago, and it helped me in my own marriage because she said we went to this marriage counselor once, and they told me, and the woman said, I've been married 7 times to the same man. Yeah. And that really landed. She's like, because what I want out of life now, or who I am now, is not who I was 30 years ago when I signed that contract. So I think that's an important. Obviously, we can translate this to trucking and the company side as well. But I love that you use that term because that is what marriage or anything really is. Admitting we grow and we change, right?
So it only goes one way. She doesn't. She's good. I'm the only one that has to renegotiate.
She's the general manager.
Yeah.
What you're telling
So
and the owner.
I had a previous marriage, and fortunately, I'm a quick learner, so I realized and understood some things. But yeah, no, she came into my life at a time where it was over for me, like whatever. And she straightened me out, loved me through a bunch of caca, and stuck with me. So, it's payoff time for both of us, actually. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Time to enjoy the fruits of your labor.
30 years is going to be a big one. So
that's awesome. Good
I
for
will
you.
tell you that's the kind of the truth of my story too. When I tell you, my brother had told me I was in a really bad place of grief when I met Claire.
Yeah.
Is the best way to say it.
Yep.
My brother gave me a great piece of advice. I wasn't looking. I was not looking, actively not looking. Like, that's not going to happen for me. And my brother told me, and you've met Ryan now, Lindsay.
Oh, have I?
And so he told me point blank, and this is based on a story that happened to me a long time ago, but he brought a line back from that story, and he goes, you paid your fine. It's time to go home.
Yeah.
And he said, you need to find some place to call home. You need to find somebody to call home. And not soon after that, I found myself, in the middle of a contract negotiation.
Yeah,
negotiation.
Happy to do it.
Happy to do it. Okay, so you're happily married. We're happy. You're happy at Tenstreet. It's amazing. They're evolving. And what you mentioned us when we saw you at lunch yesterday, we're like, what are you passionate about? Because that's the question around here. What are you passionate about? What do you want to see change? What lights you up? And you talked about compensation for drivers and how it's sort of you're obsessed with it in a good way. My question is, here's my dumb question.
Lindsay's dumb question of the day, number 4.
Why is it? Come on now.
Come on.
And I think I know, but we're going to talk about it anyway. Teachers need to be paid more.
Yep.
Truck drivers need to be paid, but we those are to me too. I mean, there's so many others, but as it pertains to today, teachers and truck drivers, and there's teachers in trucking as well.
Sure.
Why can we not? There's fewer CEOs than there are truck drivers. Is that the problem, that there's so many truck drivers? And I'm not talking about the shortage, but we need so many to make everything happen. What is it for you that is the common denominator that needs to be fixed? Is that the question to raise that?
So for CEOs, obviously, there's a lot of factors in their function and their role, right? And I'm extremely passionate about culture coming from the C-level through the organization to the driver. Nobody has more impact than a CEO about anything, including culture and developing a driver-centric culture. So I have the heart and the ear of some people that are empathetic toward drivers at that level, and I have some great conversations with them. And so in my travels for Tenstreet this year alone, I've heard no less than 6 presentations on financial stress and the distraction that it causes and how it impacts safety, right? So I'm not one of these suppliers that go to associations and just show up for the exhibit hall and dinners and activities. I go to the sessions because I'm an avid learner. And so I sit in those sessions and I learn those things, and it really tweaked me, is that, freight doesn't get moved unless there's a driver in that cab. And so, drivers have a hard row to hoe, and there has to be some empathy and understanding that they're also fathers, husbands. They have bills they can't pay. Over like 72% of drivers have 0 emergency funds. So picture an over-the-road driver getting text while he's fueling, not while he's driving. Honey, the tires blew out on my minivan. Well, how's he going to handle that? That's $1,200-$1,300 now for a set of tires. And this is the vehicle that's moving his kids around, his wife, right? So how's he going to handle that? High interest credit cards? Payday loans? Does the company have a pay advance? Is it $1,200? How much is it? How are they going to handle that? God forbid, if they have a retirement fund, which the majority don't, they're going to take the penalties and get the money out of that. So that windshield gets huge when you're driving hours at a time on the highway, and your mind is tripping about how am I going to pay for these damn tires, right? I mean, that's a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. And there are people interested in helping with, from what I can tell thus far, pretty effective, meaningful solutions that's not going to cost trucking carriers a large amount of money to take care of their drivers, and not just give a sense of, hey, we're with you, but like, look,
we're with you.
We got your back, right? And I'm talking about developing retirement funds that are fueled based upon safety incentives. So now if you're incentivizing your drivers to meet these KPIs in your safety program, your safety gets better, your violations go down, your accidents go down, your litigation goes down, but you're actually incentivizing those drivers into a retirement fund that they can have access to for emergency funds, but also have a sense of, hey, I can make a career. And this is one of the biggest issues about turnover and what we're seeing, the change of drivers in the younger generation. Listen, if we don't make some significant changes in driver compensation, we're going to continue to have lower adoption of younger generations. If we don't show them how you can, hire to retire as a trucking professional, then we're going to continue to have those issues.
Well, and the incentives around safety for retirement for long term, I think there's 2 things. I think younger generation, they're whether they admit it or know why, they're terrified about the future because all they know is they don't,
Correct.
I don't know, how am I going to sustain
Sure.
my entire life? They're
Sure.
terrified about the future. So throw that in and be like, we got your future. Come to, this is trucking has your future covered if you'll do it right and do it safe. But, the incentive thing, I love that when you're saying incentivize safety that leads to your retirement. Listen, we incentivize trips to Mexico, and that's
Sure.
great. That's
Right.
fun and all.
Right.
But how about something that's sustains you?
Sure.
And that's I think that just sort of hit me in that. I know so many friends whose kids are in their teens and 20s, and they're terrified they're at home because they're like, just on their phone. And I'm not going into that necessarily, but they don't know, they have no idea how they're going to live forever. And
Correct.
that is a way to
Correct.
support that.
Well, I've been in, I don't know if you guys, you big superstars that you are, I've been in tough financial situations.
Oh,
And
we're so wealthy.
I've made poor choices.
Yeah.
Right? And so if you can alleviate that, then why not do that for your trucker?
do you? And we're going to run out of time here. You and I and Lindsay should have a long talk about what the San Francisco 49ers do for their incoming draft class. will not sign a contract with them until they take the they offer
There
them
you go.
financial planning
Yep.
services, and they say it's for good reasons and for our reasons.
Sure.
The good reasons is you don't go broke.
Right.
The good reasons for us is that in your third year of your 4-year contract,
Yep.
you're not looking to renegotiate because you've blown through your money.
Yeah.
And that is such a crucial thing.
It's
and,
common.
and they're doing it, and it protects the franchise in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what companies. The former mayor of New Orleans once said, sometimes you can engage in enlightened self-interest.
Yeah.
That you can do right things, and it ends up turning out to be really
Sure.
good for you, too.
Yeah.
And this is, I mean, it sounds like you're alluding to some sort of, let's talk about if you come on with us and you stay with us,
Yeah. Yeah.
we have a way to make sure that you have a wonderful, happy life.
So it's already trending. I mean, it's an emerging trend in the trucking industry that I've noticed during my travels and conferences this year.
Republic Services does it.
Yeah.
I mean, the waste disposal, environmental services,
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But more
Certain
people,
sectors do,
But
yeah.
people need to. But it's not enough.
No.
It's not
No.
enough.
No.
You're enough, Bryon Wiebold. We
You
love
guys
you.
are enough. I love you guys.
Thanks for stopping
So
by
good
and
to
making
see you.
time for us. Bryon Wiebold of Tenstreet.
Anytime. Happy to do it.
Check out Tenstreet online, of course,
Tenstreet.com.
tenstreet.com. Check them out.